Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the sex offender hit list.
Say, excuse me, Judge, how many times do I need to show these videos until people become aware?
Multiple times.
All right, up in Rhode Island, Providence police said a man charged with child molestation cut his ankle monitor off and ran. He was presumably on the run anyways. Corey Smith was indicted last month on 3 counts of first-degree child molestation. Prosecutors said the alleged acts happened between January 1st of 22 and March 31st of 2023. The Rhode Island Department of Corrections is an agency primarily concerned with safety, security, and effective rehabilitative processes. When it comes to individuals who choose to violate the terms of their custody agreement, just like every other person who chooses to break the law, they will be brought to justice to face the consequences of their actions. Now back down to Florida, a Coconut Creek man is facing nearly a dozen felony charges after the police said he uploaded child sexual abuse material online. Police arrested Philip Marcus Wilson, a 24-year-old, on Wednesday. Police said a Broward Sheriff's Office digital forensics team found dozens of images and videos depicting child sexual abuse on his computer desktop. The files depicted girls under the age of 7 being raped or otherwise sexually abused by men. Coconut Creek police arrested Wilson on 11 felony charges. He was being held in the main jail there on a $10,000 bond. Are you kidding me? Wow. That means with a bondsman, you can throw up $1,000 and we got a chomo walking the streets again. Disgusting. A 63-year-old Armucci woman was jailed Wednesday on a felony warrant charging her with aggravated child molestation. According to that warrant, Lori Ann Meinke committed an indecent act with a child under the age of 16, physically injuring that victim. She was arrested at the King's Inn Motel on Martha Berry Highway after the police said she molested a child at home on Duggar Drive between May and June of last year. Police said that Meinke used her index finger to penetrate the victim, which resulted in physical injury. How sickening, especially like something like that. Ugh. Meinke's being charged with aggravated child molestation, and first-degree cruelty. See ya, Chomat. Alright, we covered this guy's conviction. This is Andrew Sharp, the former babysitter in Palm Coast. He was handed 6 life sentences on Tuesday for the molestation of his 8-year-old cousins. The sentence was administered by Circuit Court Judge Terrence Perkins after Sharp's conviction back in February. Sharp was initially charged with 5 felonies for his actions, 4 counts of sexual battery on a victim under 12 by an offender over 18, and 1 of lewd or lascivious molestation of a victim under 12 by an offender over 18. He was accused by prosecutors of raping his 8-year-old cousin and encouraging her further sexual abuse by her 11-year-old brother. The abuse is said to have begun in May of 21 and carried out for about a year. The proximity of Sharp to his cousins was formed when their parents let him live with them for a while after he moved down from West Virginia. During the trial, Sharp claimed that he had actually tried to stop the inappropriate contact between his cousins. My ass, he's the one who caused it. He was ultimately convicted on 7 felony counts, each carrying a mandatory life sentence. Both previously and possibly in the future, Sharp's conviction may have resulted in the death penalty, but Florida's laws on administering capital punishment are currently in the midst of litigation. This defendant used the love between a brother and sister and their family to engage in the most horrific of crimes against children, the state attorney R.J. Lazira said after his conviction in February. And it's pretty unfortunate that the death penalty does not apply to the crimes that were committed before the law was amended to authorize the death penalty. Otherwise, that would have been on the table. See ya, Chomo. Georgia. A man has been arrested after Albany Police Department's Family Protections Unit was notified of a child molestation case from the officers in Moultrie on Monday. Moultrie police handled the initial incident and then transferred the case to the APD for further investigation. Moultrie officials said that the child said she had been having mental breakdowns. Of course, that's what this stuff does to children. A forensic interview showed that Sterling Maurice Murphy Sr. touched her genitals when she was 7 or 8 years old. Now, Monday, Murphy was taken to the law enforcement center for an interview. During that interview with the police, he confessed to it. He confessed to touching that child inappropriately and to having sexual communication, including sending explicit images with a minor on a social media platform. Oh, man. Murphy was charged with rape and aggravated child molestation. He's currently in the Dougherty County Jail, where he belongs. Hall County, Georgia. A 38-year-old Gainesville, Georgia man was arrested on March 28th for having child sexual abuse materials in his possession. The Hall County Sheriff's Office said Ryan Daniel Kinev was arrested after investigators following up on a cyber tip regarding child sexual abuse material. On March 28th, investigators from the Sheriff's Office searched a home on Lothbridge Road owned by Kinev, and they seized several electronic devices. During that investigation, officials found 2 images and 2 videos of children either being molested by adults or engaged in sexual activity with other children. Kinev was charged with 4 felony counts of sexually exploiting minors and was taken into custody at the Hall County Jail with no bond. See ya, Chomo. A Jackson County man is facing felony charges for possessing child sexual assault materials. This is Jacob Colby Nicholson, a 23-year-old of Silva. He's charged with 3 felony counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Nicholson was arrested on March 25th after a warrant for his arrest was issued for allegedly possessing sexually explicit images of young children. He's accused of making copies of several types of images in July of 23. The child sexual abuse material images depict children being sexually abused in several disturbing manners, including a prepubescent child being raped by an adult male. 2 children, a girl between the ages of 7 and 10, and a boy 9 to 12-year-old having sex, and a girl between 9 and 13 masturbating. It's just very sick things here. The materials were internet generated. Disgusting. Nicholson is not thought to have any relationships to the children depicted, but in each count, Nicholson allegedly copied the material, knowing the material's content. Second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor is a Class E felony which carries a possible sentence of 15 to 31 months. It's not much at all. Not enough. Nicholson was booked into the Jackson County Detention Center and was released under a $75,000 personal bond. Can you believe that? A Gainesville man was arrested last week on charges of child molestation after the incidents reported back in late 23. Gainesville Police Lieutenant Kevin Holbrook said that this chomo here, Christopher Lewis, a 37-year-old, was arrested on March 29th after an investigation into the alleged molestation of a 13-year-old child. The incidents were reported to police via a school counselor in December of last year. No other details on the alleged incidents were provided, but we do know that Lewis is being held in the Hall County Jail with no bond. Beautiful thing. See ya, chomo. Paducah, Kentucky. Police said detectives were notified in March through the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children of a person in possession of child sexual abuse material. Authorities later identified 53-year-old Richard Gibson as the person reportedly in possession of that material. Detectives executed a search warrant at Gibson's home on Friday and allegedly collected multiple electronic devices where more images of child sexual abuse were recovered. Detectives also reportedly found methamphetamines and drug paraphernalia. Gibson was charged with possession of matter portraying the sexual performance by a minor under 12, as well as the possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Gibson is on the Lifetime Sex Offender Registry already for the sexual abuse of an 11-year-old child. Like I say, once a chomo, always a chomo. Keep them locked up. Gibson was originally charged in Oklahoma for lewd and indecent proposals and acts to a child. And of course, this investigation is ongoing and further charges are pending. And if they find something out, you'll be sure to find it out here first on the Sex Offender Hit List.
Bryden, you're right. It's a step in the right direction.
When a child experiences trauma, they can be stripped of their ability to imagine. But imagination is colors. All the colors. Imagination is freedom and whatever you want it to be. But a child without imagination is not a child at all. Will you help defend our right to imagine?